I didn't plan to ruin my wife's birthday, but somehow she did that all by herself. Started with laughter. The kind that fills a house, light and careless, echoing through the hallways. Except this time it wasn't ours. It was hers, and it came from the backyard, mixed with a man's voice I didn't recognize. I froze halfway down the stairs, holding the wrapped watch I'd spent weeks saving for. To my beautiful wife who deserves the world, the engraving on the back read. I'd planned to give it to her tonight. Over dinner, maybe with the candles she loved. But when I heard her laughing that way, it didn't sound like the woman I thought I knew. The party wasn't supposed to be big. Just close friends, she said. Some co-workers. I was fine with that. I even offered to handle the grill while she mingled. But what I walked into that night didn't feel like a birthday. It felt like a performance. Emily stood near the fire pit, a drink in hand, her hair pinned back, the glow of the string lights softening her face. She looked radiant, effortlessly beautiful. And next to her, the man I'd never met before. Confident. The kind of man who didn't have to try. His hand rested a little too comfortably on her lower back, and she didn't seem to mind. I noticed the way her friends looked at me when I approached. Smiles that felt forced, like they knew something I didn't. "Hey," I said, trying to sound casual. "You didn't tell me we were inviting half your office." She turned, eyes wide like she'd just remembered I existed. "Oh babe, you're finally out here." She laughed and kissed my cheek, the quick, distant kind. "Everyone, this is my husband, Daniel." The man beside her extended a hand. "Jason," he said smoothly. "We've heard so much about you." "Yeah," I said, shaking his hand. His grip was strong, confident. "All good things, I hope." Jason just smiled. "Depends who you ask." People around him chuckled. Emily swatted his arm playfully, blushing. "Ignore him," she said. "He's always like this." But the look between them, that spark of something unspoken, made my stomach twist. As the night went on, I felt more like a ghost than a husband. She floated from group to group, laughing too loud, drinking too much, never once coming to check if I was okay. I stood near the grill, flipping steaks no one would eat, watching her through the haze of smoke and jealousy. At one point, I saw her whisper something into Jason's ear. He leaned in close, his hand brushing against her hip. She didn't pull away. And that's when I started to feel it. That slow, suffocating dread that comes before a storm. Later, after cake and toasts, someone suggested a game. Truth or dare, but for adults. I tried to bow out, saying I'd clean up instead. But Emily insisted. "Come on, Daniel. Don't be boring for once," she teased. Her friends laughed. I forced a smile and sat down with them. The dares were harmless at first. Silly things like singing a line from a song or calling an ex. Then it was Jason's turn. He grinned, eyes flicking to Emily. "Truth," he said. Her friend grinned mischievously. "Is it true you have a thing for married women?" Everyone laughed except me. Jason looked at Emily, holding her gaze just a moment too long. "Only if they're unhappy," he said. Few gasps, few chuckles. Emily's cheeks flushed. Okay, enough," she said quickly, waving her hand. But she didn't look at me. Then someone called her name. "Emily, your turn." "Fine," she said, smirking. "Truth." Jason leaned forward. "Is it true your husband begs you to be intimate, but you always say no?" The group erupted in laughter. Froze. Emily's mouth opened, maybe to stop it, maybe to correct it. But then she laughed. Loud. Careless. "Oh my God, Jason. You're terrible." He grinned. "So that's a yes." And that's when she said it. "My husband begs to be intimate with me, but I always say no." Ha ha ha. The words cut through the air, sharper than glass. Everyone laughed. Phones were out recording. I saw someone covering their mouth to hide a grin. And me. I just stood there, staring at the woman I thought I knew. My hands were shaking. I didn't even realize I'd dropped the plate I was holding until it shattered at my feet. The laughter stopped. "Daniel," she said softly, her smile fading. It was just a joke. I didn't say a word. I just walked inside. In the quiet of the house, the sound of their laughter still echoed in my head like a cruel memory on repeat. I went upstairs, sat on the edge of our bed, and stared at the watchbox still in my hand. The engraving felt like mockery now. To my beautiful wife, who deserves the world. Maybe that was my mistake, giving her too much of it. When she finally came in, her voice was careful, rehearsed. Daniel, I didn't mean it like that. Turn slowly. You laughed while they mocked me. You humiliated me, Emily. In front of strangers. It was supposed to be funny. Funny. Snap. You told a room full of people that your husband begs for intimacy like it's some kind of joke. Her eyes flickered. You're overreacting. That was it. Those 3 words. The anthem of every crumbling marriage. Overreacting. I said quietly. You made me a punchline in your little office circus. She folded her arms. You know what, maybe if you weren't so insecure. I laughed. Not out of amusement but disbelief. Insecure. Emily, you flirted with another man in front of me. You let him touch you, whisper to you. And you stood there laughing when he humiliated me. She looked away. Jason's just a friend. He makes me feel seen. The words hit harder than any insult. So that's what this is, I said slowly. You don't feel seen. You don't feel wanted. She didn't answer. I stood taking a deep breath. You know what? You can have your audience, Emily. You can have your little admirer. But I'm done being the fool in your story. I left the room before she could respond. For the next few days, she tried to play it down. She acted like nothing happened, posting birthday pictures, thanking her friends, even sharing a clip of her blowing out candles. I noticed Jason's comment under it. Best night ever. You looked amazing. That was the final crack. I called one of her coworkers, a quiet woman named Leah, and asked carefully if Jason was single. There was a pause. Then she sighed. You didn't hear it from me, but they've been seeing each other for months. Everyone in the office knows. My chest went hollow. She continued, voice low. Emily told him you two were basically done. That you were sleeping in separate rooms. I hung up before I could break. That night when Emily came home I was calm. Cold. Too calm maybe. I showed her my phone. The screenshots. The texts between her and Jason I'd found earlier that day. Pictures. Private jokes. Her face went pale. Daniel, please, she whispered. It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like, I said. You made me a fool in front of everyone. And then you went behind my back to prove them right. Tears filled her eyes. I was lonely, okay? You were always busy, always tired. I was building a life for us, Emily. You were tearing it down. She covered her face, sobbing. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I nodded slowly. You never do. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't ask why. Instead, I packed a bag, left the watch on the counter, and walked out. She followed me to the door. Daniel, please don't leave me. I turned once, met her eyes, and said quietly, You already did. Weeks passed. The silence in my apartment was deafening at first. Every time my phone buzzed, I half expected it to be her. An apology, a confession, something. But when she did text, it wasn't remorse. It was nostalgia. I miss us. I made a mistake. Can we talk? I never replied. Then one morning I saw a post from one of her coworkers. It was a photo from a bar, Emily and Jason sitting apart. She looked distant, tired. The caption read, Guess not every office romance ends like the movies. For the first time I didn't feel anger. Just emptiness. Because betrayal doesn't always explode. Sometimes it fades like a slow leak that drains everything you once were. Months later, I passed by the cafe where we used to spend Sunday mornings. The same one where she used to laugh at my terrible jokes, reach across the table to steal my muffin. A new couple sat there, laughing, holding hands. And for the first time in a long while, I didn't feel jealous or bitter. I just felt free. Because I realized something that night at her birthday party. When she screamed those words for everyone to hear, she wasn't mocking me. She was confessing what she'd already done in private, turning love into humiliation. And I finally stopped begging for someone who found joy in watching me break. Now, when people ask why my marriage ended, I just smile and say, she laughed at the wrong thing, and I finally stopped pretending it was funny.